Hello friends, so I am back with part 2 of the alginate, and so today I'll be telling you about the gelation process of the alginate. So this is a continued part 2 video of the alginate. Earlier we have discussed about the components of the alginate and the dustless alginate. Now is the gelation process, and first I want to tell you that I'll be making short videos of around 2 to 5 minutes, and these will be quite helpful as you'll be able to go through them quickly and get a basic idea about the thing, important MCQs. So you can do MCQ out of these almost around 80 to 90%, and these are from authentic reference sources. So let's start up with the gelation process. So what is basically gelation process? It is basically a process where we will be mixing all the components together, and the product will get that is the gel. So what happens, the soluble alginate when combines with the calcium sulfate, it will be forming the insoluble calcium alginate gel. Make a note out of this thing. The equation as such can be asked. Initially it is a soluble alginate, and after that it will be forming the insoluble calcium alginate. So what's happening over here? So calcium ions, they are replacing the calcium ions from the calcium sulfate. They are replacing either sodium or either potassium of the soluble alginate of the two adjacent molecules, and they will be forming a cross-linked polymer network. All right, and what we see that this formation of the calcium alginate is very much rapid, as we have discussed earlier also. So what it will be giving us is insufficient working time, but we want is a proper working time. So for that, what comes into play is the role of the retarder. As we have already discussed, the retarder used in the alginate is the sodium phosphate. So what we'll do is we'll add the trisodium phosphate into this mixture. What it will do is it will prolong the working time. So that's why it's the retarder. Kindly mark it. Okay. So what will be happening is the calcium will react with this trisalt in preference to alginate, thus giving us enough of the working time. So I think we have understood the gelation process. Now let's move on to some random important points. So have a look over here. This is very much important. Do learn these values. So if we take 16 grams of powder of alginate and we add into it 38 ml of water, its gelation will occur in 3 to 4 minutes. Mark this timing and mark these values. Important. That's why I've marked starred over here. So this is at the room temperature. Now let's have a look at the effect of the temperature, the water temperature on the setting time. What does happen in the case of alginate? So if we see, so please make a note out of it. Please draw this diagram. This is very much important, as we know about the latest NEET MTS pattern. Such type of questions, they do come. So let's have a look over here. So once you have a look over here, so what we get the inference out of it is that the water temperature, as it increases, the setting time will decrease. So make a note out of it. So if we see over here, what happens is that is for 1 minute reduction in the setting time that occurs for each 10-degree rise in the temperature. As we can see, as the temperature is increasing, the setting time is decreasing. So they both have an inverse relationship. So this is very much important out here. Then let us see what are the various factors that control the setting time of the alginate. So most important is from the manufacturer's point of view. That is, they can regulate it by adding the amount of retarder. So based upon this, we have is two types of alginate. Number one is the fast setting alginate and the normal setting alginate. Please note down these values and learn it by heart. Fast setting alginate 1.5 to 3 minutes, normal setting alginate, that's 3 to 4.5 minutes. Then the second important factor affecting the setting time of alginate, as we have already discussed, the effect of the water temperature. Do remember about this graph. All right. And the third factor that comes into play is alteration of the water powder ratio or the mixing time. So these are the important. So we can have an MCQ as such, the factors that regulate the setting time. So we have to jot down this thing, that is the amount of retarder, the temperature of the mixing water, the water powder ratio. And do remember that for every 10-degree rise in temperature, there is 1 minute reduction into the setting time. This is an important MCQ. Alright, so this is it for today, and soon I'll be coming up with the alginate part 3. Stay tuned, share, subscribe and do like. Alright, bye bye.